Like, I think about what I could have almost lost, for nothing, for absolutely nothing. And, tonight we are majoring in the minors. Hey, Sarah, we're getting connected with my German party. Welcome to our haunted house. Now, watch your step. No, seriously, watch your step. See these stories and more right here on the Black Man Show. Welcome to the BS. Now come see what we talking about. Let's go. What is good? What is good, my people? I am ShowTheBlackman. Welcome to another episode of The Black Man Show. This week sponsored by the good people at Bandana Boy, selling you tees to set you free, with a closeout sale currently being had on their F Around and Find Out collection, sparked by the events of this summer's Alabama Brawl. Who can forget the summer of love when a simple man merely doing his job was attacked on those Montgomery docks when he set out the bat signal, alerting the teams to assemble. They came, one if by sea and many if by land, because we can't get our hair wet, all in defense of this gentleman. All types of things were there in the air, fists and temperature sure, but then there was a chair. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed and the rightful were arrested and justice was actually served. And look, they even made a couple for the show. Be sure to get your never forget memorabilia today. Hit the link in the description and get 20% off your order. I'm sure you will dig it. So if you're looking for exposure for your brand or sponsorship opportunity, be sure to hit us up at ShowTheBlackman@gmail.com. Now, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so we can get to the news. Now look, I know last week I kind of hit on what can happen in the case of false accusations, right? That last situation, the last time being that between the MLB pitcher Trevor Bauer and Lizzie Hill, seen here acting like the queen that she truly is. Well, in that report, I touched on how a situation on one side, the other white meat, can shed light on what's happening over here. And not too far from the light of accusations was the situation of Jonathan Majors, Dionne Warwick nose double, and Hollywood actor known as Atticus to some, Damien to others, and Kang the Conqueror to the rest. TLDR, basically he and his mayonnaise maiden, Grace Jabari, were out one night in New York frolicking as they do. And that was when TMZ reported that they were basically riding in their taxi, and apparently the brutish bully of a black man put his hands on the fair, sweet, dainty young lady of Caucasia, after the two got into some kind of verbal disagreement, right? So apparently Majors was texting with another woman, which upset the girlfriend who was sitting there in his taxi, right? And because she was merely just trying to sneak a peek, this mannish method actor skipped right past Kang and went straight to the Incredible Hulk when he grabbed her hand, slapped her, broke her finger, and then put his hands around her neck and started squeezing. Now this is bad. Obviously, of course, I think you can agree this is bad, right? Of course, a man of such actions should be arrested, tried, convicted, and have the worst things imaginable happen to him. But truth is, none of that happened. Well, at least not in that sort of light, right? So, boom. In light of the allegations against him, John got to work, right? First thing he did, he got himself a black girlfriend. Cause first thing you gotta do is get the sisters on your side. Quit that zero and get you a literal hero, right? I mean, if Michael Jordan ain't gonna speak up for you or at least have your back in some kind of way, trust. I've Googled and you can't find nothing containing the two of them beyond April, right? But yeah, if you can't get support from your fellow man, at least you gotta try to look like black love, especially at a time when Jada, Tia, and Ebony ain't doing the best of jobs.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Single motherhood by choice is going to be an option that more and more black women consider and even exercise. So anybody that's in their feelings about that can go ahead and start to process right now. The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for black women.
Okay, so next thing you do is get yourself a female lawyer, right? Minority, bam, that's number 3. Okay, so now you set. So after that, John Side quickly went to work and found video evidence showing that this girl had no bruising, right? No scratches, no abuse whatsoever, just like last week's story with the old girl with Lindsay Hill trying to go at Trevor Bauer's pockets. Okay, same time old girl Grace, right, fled the country because after the investigation, the NYPD found cause to arrest her for a DV, right? Then in July, or was it June? I think it was June. But then in June, Rolling Stone unleashed a scathing report about Majors, claiming that several other women had said that he was being physically or emotionally abusive as well. However, several of those women have actually recanted their stories wholesale claim that their accounts were written without their given authority. So, who knows what to believe? Since then, his court date's been pushed back 3 times so far. So that means that he has to wait until then to clear his name. So in the meantime, he's almost lost all future roles, especially within the Marvel Universe, with the exception of his minor reappearance in the this week's episode of Loki. So I don't know, I haven't even watched it yet, but so no spoilers here. You don't have to worry about that, right? But I just think that it's kind of interesting that he's being severely punished for mere accusations when they still went forward, right, with creating the horrible Flash movie, starring a documented, drug-addled, woman abuser, teen groomer, and sexual manipulator in Ezra Miller. And they still going forward with allowing Amber Heard's line as to remain in Aquaman 2, even if in a limited capacity. So I'm just curious of what the actual line is and how we supposed to find some sort of equality. So that brings us all up to date, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what comes out of today's trial, since this is recorded, before the trial. But what do you think is going to happen with the verdict? Why do you think Jonathan was completely dropped by all of his representation without any proof? And is this a case of anything similar to what happened to the likes of Brian Banks, Emmett Till, Johnny Depp, Trevor Bauer? You know I can keep going, right? Now, as you all can probably tell, your boy is a bit more relaxed these days after finally seeing that my team finally was able to put it together 4 quarters of actual winning, all in the same game. Now, of course, I'm talking about my Bears winning against the Oakland Raiders this past Sunday. Now, look, y'all stop laughing. Stop laughing. Look, we'll take whatever wins we can get. Starting quarterback Justin Fields was hurt, so in came undrafted free agent Bajent to the rescue. Who knew? That's what competent quarterback play looks like. Now, speaking of undrafted free agents, Kansas City, you may have a minor problem. And I say minor because this is not like some Travis and Taylor news. Now look, I'm gonna be real with you. My mama told me to never trust anybody with a last name as a first name. And here you got 2 of them. Anyway, undrafted free agent Justin Ross was arrested this Monday in Shawnee, Kansas, which for the people who think they're the same is a completely different state than where the Chiefs play. Okay. Anyway, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office has reported that Justin's been booked on charges of criminal property damage of more than $25,000, in addition to possible DV charges, which, if carried out, carry a level 7 felony in the state of Kansas. Okay. Hold on. Wait, we got to update. As of today, October 24th, his charges have been reduced to less than $1,000 in property damage and a lower charge of domestic battery, right? Which both are misdemeanors. So with this being his first offense of any kind, he was actually released on a $2,500 bond, but could also face a suspension with the Chiefs of about 6 games. Now, I don't know what undrafted free agents get paid these days, but with this being his 2nd year in the league, after a year on the IR, which is injury reserve, I don't know what his cachet is like, but if not, I hope he got Jesus, because Jesus saves. At this point, that's all we know, but I'm just curious. Do you think that this is a Sean Oakman kind of a DV or a Kareem Hunt kind of thing? I don't know. You let me know what you think in the comments down below. So, you planning on doing any voting around here? You know where I can find a party that actually aligns with my special political points of view? Well, if you are a Democrat and you just happen to be in Germany, you may want to take a look at their new Wagenknecht party, named for a rising star on the world political scene, Sarah Wagenknecht. And contrary to many speculations, she is not an AI. I'm pretty sure. So her new party is an offshoot of the left party, which is known as Die Linke, which is somewhat equivalent to the American version of the Democrats. So while they're pretty highly or heavily left-leaning in terms of economics, which includes things like national budgetary spending, social programs, and disproportionate wealth distribution for the rich, they differ staunchly with the left on issues like migration, gender, and climate. Especially interesting to note on that last one was when Wagenknecht said that one must get away, quote, from blind haphazard eco-activism, end quote. And the migration part is interesting in that we're not talking about immigration, right? While immigration is a form of migration where foreign people are looking to stay somewhere for good, migration doesn't necessarily have to be permanent, right? Just think of like your regular Joe passport bro taking up shop in Colombia while working his American job remotely while taste testing the local fare. That guy is a migrant worker, not to be confused with the migrant workers in Dubai who are building stadiums for soccer programs with very little training in 123-degree heat while having no agency, no autonomy, and no ability to leave. Those are slaves. Moving on. But while America is out figuring out our border issues, Sarah's doing the same in Germany with migrants coming in and taking jobs from the Deutsch that could rightfully go to one of their citizens instead. And at the same time, there are hurdles to get into Germany that can cause a backlog of foreigners looking for entry in the first place. So in the meantime of waiting, there are limited government funds, right? That plus a growing number of unemployed migrants helped fuel the creation of this party. So as a result, 9 other members of Germany's Der Linke party group also left the party along with Wagenknecht. However, they do still want to be part of the left faction. So I will do my best to explain Germany's government in a nutshell. I know, again, who else to explain foreign politics than Southside Chicago? Exactly, right? Anyway, okay, so their parliament is divided into sections kind of like our Congress, but their house is called a Bundestag. This is filled with about 600 seats, half of representatives who are voted in, as well as the others who earn this seat based on the parties or based on their party's proportional vote. Now, these are the representatives that they vote for in their 2-tier voting system, which has you initially select a representative from their electoral district, followed by a secondary vote for the party that you support. This helps them to receive representation proportional to the vote. So they have several political parties, all vying for political cachet within the government and its policies. Now, each party has to have at least 5% of the vote for parliamentary recognition, because ain't nobody about to get no damn majority with 40 other parties. That just ain't happening. But it is interesting to note that in preliminary polls, Wagenknecht's party already holds potentially 27% of the vote, already beating out recently created far-right party, the AfD, or the Alternative for Deutschland party, whose rise has recently surpassed the 3 parties that are currently governing Germany today. Okay, so they're all pushing for ultimate control, which they ultimately won't reach. So the best bet is having what's called a coalition government, which, like it sounds, becomes the way the government is ruled. So that's how policy is made, and that's sometimes how backlogs can happen. Fun fact, did you know that Germany's president, while voted on, is more of a ceremonial position than official position, while the chancellor, who is appointed by the president and voted on by the Bundestag, is the one who actually gets things done, you know, like setting policy guidelines, picking a proportional cabinet to the Bundestag to make sure that some of the policies pass. I mean, it's kind of like a group reach around if you think about it, but don't think about it. So I don't know if you're politically active or haven't voted since before the war, but what do you think of Germany's new left-ish party? Do you think they'll give the far right a run for their money? I mean, they haven't even officially put out all of what they're about yet. Do you think the US could go for another, maybe less liberal version of the current Democratic Party? I would love to know in the comments below. I can tell y'all how I feel about it for real, but we'll save that for another episode. How about that? Is that fair? Well, that's fair. Moving on. Now, who doesn't like a self-check lane at their local big box store, like a Walmart or a Target? I mean, sure, you go in, you grab yourself a couple of doodads, like, you know, set of tires for your 86 Pontiac LeBaron, you know, dog food, set of steak knives. All of it somehow, when you're going through the self-check, it only comes out to about $5 with taxes. I don't know, but if you think after working a full day that I just want to go in and clock in for a quick shift at Wallet World just so I can get my Hot Pockets, you are physically bugging. That's all I'm saying. And that's what's being revealed that now apparently is that according to this very adventurous young lady, ma'am, Tajay don't play.
For all my kleptomaniac girlies, this is your sign to stop five-finger discounting, and I'm gonna tell you why. Specifically from Walmart and Target. These stores keep tabs on you and keep track of the amount that you are stealing, and once you hit a certain amount, boom, arrested on the spot and charged with grand theft. Grand theft in my state is a felony, and once you steal $750 worth of stuff, boom, charged with grand theft. These cameras are so good, they can zoom in all the way across the store and still see the worker's badge name clear as day. So, Walmart, Target, I don't know what other stores, but those two stores for a fact keep tabs on you.
So if you are of the retail five-finger variety of thief, you may want to steer clear, however, when looking at this with any kind of discernment. I mean, I don't know. I think you'd have to have a pretty big log of faces, have some pretty high-tech facial recognition technology, and have several servers to maintain your database. I'm not saying that they're not doing it, but maybe they're doing it for like certain people, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, when you couple that with the fact that retailers are actually right now telling their employees to do nothing in the midst of witnessing a shoplift event, I mean, it makes it seem even more specious. I mean, I'm telling you, I know, because like one of my brothers actually works directly on the inside and he's seen it himself and he's told me about it firsthand. So how long will it be before everything from your toothpaste to your furniture to your boxes and your bras, however you shopping, will have to be purchased through an online channel as the world's capitalism reaches its peak?
Materialism becomes the new religion. Cities only exist while outside with borders is called the darkness, as it become nothing more than meat for the AI machines to consume.
And do you think these systems actually exist? What is the play behind retailers no longer investing in loss prevention? Either way, my advice to you is to just not start. Don't grab nothing that you can't afford to pay for. Unless there's a pandemic and we wear masks again, I mean, then it's just math. It's just math. Good people of Kansas City, you know it's one of our favorite times of the year. That time when we can get dressed in our favorite costumes, hang with friends, and watch someone break their tooth on that sweet Crayola that you all call candy corn. That's right, I'm talking about Hallows Eve, aka Halloween. And what a lot of people out here like to do is go out to the local haunted houses, from the likes of The Edge of Hell, to The Beast, to the Macabre Cinema, all located in the West Bottoms for your haunting pleasures. But please do not wear your good shoes because this is still Kansas City, and for some reason, they don't like pavement everywhere for reasons. Not to be outdone on the haunted house hunt is the Blossom House Haunted Hotel, which has claimed itself as an actual haunted house establishment with real ghosts. Now, look, I'm not about the frights. I'm just be real. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that the frightening thing is really my thing. But from one of the recent reports that I saw in the Kansas City Star, the sights that they've seen aren't worth the price of admission. That's right. For $40, you can get to tour an abandoned multi-level building, also located in the West Bottoms, where it's been reported to have holes in the floor to the point where one patron had to shuffle along the floor to avoid any other unseen floor holes that also might be in the floor, or just rotting wood that might be underneath his feet. Now, apparently this building, which is actually just a rundown warehouse because the actual Blossom House Hotel of the West Bottoms was destroyed in the 1920s, is not exactly up to code. One Google review read, "I wish I could neglect the property and call it haunted to evade upkeep. Can't count how many days the fire alarms will be going off uninterrupted without anyone going to turn them off. Either sell to someone who can actually tend to the property or fix it yourself. Local." But honestly, they're in the minority of this place that has like a 4.6 rating out of 5. And that's not bad for a place that has no emergency exits, no building inspection, very little electricity, no roof, no sprinkler system, in case of a fire, and no bathrooms. So with this in mind, the real letdown is the knowledge that with no toilets, they won't even be scaring the shit out of you. But with these deficiencies in mind, and don't get me into the part where the owner claims to be related to the family that owns them other 3 haunted houses that we mentioned, to which they said, bruh, if you don't get your goof ass the fuck up out of here, talking all that crazy. I mean, they did do the same way the descendants of the Frederick Douglass family did your boy Umar Johnson. I'm just saying. But with these deficiencies in mind, the KC Fire Marshal had no choice but to shut the facility down, which does not have an operator's license, but does have a shaky, unsecured ladder into a dark hole when you first come in. Enjoy. Now look, I don't know, y'all. I grew up in a crack epidemic in South Side of Chicago, so again, I say I'm from Chicago a lot because I'm from Chicago. you gonna hear that. But for real, ain't much you scare me with, but y'all ain't about to have me somewhere walking where the ground is shaky either. I'm just saying, this alpha man is just too cold for that. But please, y'all do me a favor and promise me that y'all gonna be safe for the Halloweens. Please, do it for the babies. Now, speaking of alphas and my Chicago, I gotta give y'all the story that hits very close to home, okay? To my brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, another brother has gone on to Omega chapter. Our brother, 21-year-old Jalen Burns of the Delta Phi chapter at Jackson State University, was recently murdered after trying to break up a fight at the campus apartments. Now, the Chicago native was slated to graduate this upcoming spring and was the president of the C100 chapter. Murder and weapon possession charges were filed against 19-year-old Joshua Brown for his involvement in the Monday morning altercation, as well as Jameson Kelly Jr., who was charged with accessory after the fact to murder. Both are being held at the Raymond Detention Center in Raymond, Mississippi.
He loved Jackson.
He did.
He had a chance to go to West Point, and he chose Jackson.
A full ride scholarship.
Full ride.
Here,
To West Point.
And he chose Jackson State.
chose Jackson State.
A child was supposed to turn 22 next month. Next month. He was supposed to turn 22. He was supposed to graduate in May. He was supposed to continue to go on and do great things.
His parents said the Chicago native adopted Jackson as his new home and loved it.
They didn't just steal him from us. They stole him from the whole world because he made such... I didn't realize how great of an impact he made in his 3.5 years here in Jackson till last night. And I saw all those students and faculty out there that had so many great stories about him.
Great stories about his love for his fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, and how Jalen was a leader on and off campus. He made such an impact in his short time on Earth. Now, his family wants justice.
Now, I'm telling y'all, this one for me hits not only because he was a man from Chicago like me, or that he went to an HBCU like me, or that he's a man of Alpha Phi Alpha like me, or that he was a 7 like me, or the irony that we are actually reporting this during our 7th week. All of that is just ironic, but for me, what really hits is just the fact that on top of this, I don't know. I hate to admit this, but recently, your boy, I had my own N-word moment, right?
Watch where you walking, nigga. Hey, what you say, nigga?
Watch closely. You're about to experience a nigga moment. Webster defines the nigga moment as a moment when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical Negro male.
What did you say, bitch, nigga? Hey, squeeze it, nigga.
Causing him to act in an illogical, self-destructive manner, i.e., like a nigga. Nigga moments are unpredictable.
Hey, wait, man, wait. This is stupid. Hey, you right, dawg. Look, let's put the guns away and go on about our business. Freeze!
I don't like to say the word because, you know, I grew up with a different mindset and different mindset. Don't get me wrong. I used to rap. I used to write rhymes. I still do write rhymes and all that, whatever. I know I'm going to get out my face. But, so I use the N-word when I write my rhymes and stuff, but even though my mom passed, I would feel weird saying it out in public just because that's my, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I was raised. It's my level of respect for my mom. So I'm gonna just say that. But getting beyond that, getting to what I'm saying, I had my N-word moment in that it was the stupidest thing. Just driving somewhere, guy cuts me off. I hit the horn like, hey man, what are you doing? Maybe you didn't see me. Next thing you know, he flips me off. So I don't know. I just get in the... Mind you, the place that I was trying to go to was right there. It was right there to the left. I drove past it now because now I'm on one. Because now he done flipped me off, and now I'm thinking, well, I gotta go get mine. I gotta get my respect. From who? For what? I like to this day, I'm still trying to figure out what was I doing. Anyway, so ultimately I ended up chasing the guy with, I'm chasing his car, whatever. I brake checked him and all this. He zooms around me and all this. We get to a red light. So I pull up right beside him and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Next thing you know, he ups on me. He upped on you, boy. So now he up on me and I'm like, what is this? What is this about to be about? Am I about to really lose it all for stupid? And then he being like the biggest, being a scary person with a gun in their hand. I'll just say that. So he's doing what scary people with guns do when they throw rocks and hide their hands. You know what I'm saying? Them type of people. So he was one of those. So anyway, so that happened. Even though he threw the rock, I didn't have to respond. That's my point. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed to the point where I just left out of there talking shit, and he ended up going on by this way with his ugly girlfriend. I had to. I'm sorry, I had to. But I'm just saying, like, it just, like, I think about what I could have almost lost, for nothing, for absolutely nothing. And, And I just think about this young man who was about to turn 22 next month. He had his whole life ahead of him, right? And here I am, a man with a 6-month-old, about to throw it away for stupid shit. Like I said, I'm just glad that clearer heads were able to prevail, and I'm still able to see my son's dimply smile, feel him grabbing my beard, and that look on his face, the look on the child's face, on a baby's face, especially when you can see that they understand something, when they're starting to really learn. I was straight up doing the dummy. I was doing the absolute dummy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I guess they call that grace or favor or whatever. I don't know. I really just wish that some of that would have spread over to that young man Jalen Burns, though. To our brother. Farewell, dear brother. Farewell. Until we meet once more. Hey, man, y'all trying to get me in my feelings out here, man. But, it's cool. It's cool. I'm good with wearing my heart on my sleeve. You know what I'm saying? I just hope you good with how it looks. Because if not, hey, look, that's on you, baby. That's on you, baby. That ain't me. That's your problem. Anyway, look, this has been The Black Man Show. Of course, I am 7Blackman. Please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, both of them joints right there, as we continue to grow this thing out. And leave me a comment or two on the stories that hit you. Be sure to hit me up at showtheblackman@gmail.com or on any of the socials at ShowTheBlackman. I appreciate each and every one of you non-Pontiac driving moms out there. So you please take care of each other. Until next time. Peace.